Well, I grew up in what I feel like was a very stable childhood. My mom worked at the school. My dad worked at the church as the minister of music, and nobody in my household really used any drugs. Growing up, I was always on some form of medication. It started out with I believe it was Buspar at first, and then I changed over to Ritalin, and that it really is not a very good drug to be on, especially as a kid, because I remember sometimes just looking at people and all I can see is like dark sunken circles, just like I'm looking at a skeleton. The way I lived, I wasn't really living. I was just on autopilot my entire life growing up. It all really started in high school, like the very, very tail end of high school. Me and a buddy of mine, we were just really bored one day, and I can't really exactly remember how we made it to this place, but we found a store that didn't ID. So we just started going there and buying vapes to get a little bit of a nicotine buzz every now and then. And then I got instantly hooked on that. It didn't take more than one vape for me to get hooked on that. It wasn't until about maybe 4 or 5 months after that, maybe less than that, that they started selling Delta 8 at that convenience store. And I didn't know what it was at the time. I didn't really understand what it was. I just thought it was a different brand of vape. So I tried it, and apparently it's something like weed. And I instantly got hooked, and it became a very controlling substance in my life that I always wanted to have it on me, because I felt like it helped me control my hyperactive tendencies and all that. And then whenever I got to college, my parents tried me on a different medication, Adderall. With the weed and the Delta 8 and the Adderall, it caused me to be a very lazy student who really didn't do much at all in school and just kind of sat on his butt and didn't do any homework at all. And then I went to Bruton Parker College, where I met up with some friends, or made some friends going to a church event. And on the way there, he pulled out a bag of weed, and we smoked it together. And that's whenever I started really getting harder and deeper into weed than I had ever been before. And I started to drink a little bit during that time too. I kind of started to realize I had a problem whenever I stopped taking all my medications, the ones that had been prescribed to me by an actual physician. And I started to just really do nothing and just started to take things from other people around me to be able to satiate my fix of weed, and to just use people to my advantage so I could be able to get a little high, get a little drunk, because I just didn't really enjoy living anymore, because I had lost a lot. Because no matter what I did, I always felt like I always lost friends, because every single time I got comfortable with someone, eventually they would leave me and I would just not know what to do. Having that happen to me again really scared me. I first heard about a better way whenever my parents brought a man by the name of Clint Jones to the house to tell me about a better way and how it would be a massive help to my addiction and help me get out of it. But I didn't see the need for it, because I didn't see that I had a problem like I did at that time. This was back in 2022, I believe, or it was either 2022 or 2021, where I had kind of started dabbling in it, and I had started to really smoke the Delta 8 and the nicotine a lot more than I probably should have been. I had a little bit of a hiatus after that for a little while, but then I started back again once I went to college. And then once I came back home from college, my parents took me to a building where a man of the name of Bobby Dodd was there. And they said that you can either go with him or you can't come back home, because you're hurting us too much. We don't want you to hurt us anymore. My first day here at A Better Way, I came here around 8:30ish, so it was right after pill call on a Friday night, which as everyone was quick to let me realize that I had missed out on the honey buns and the sodas that night, which I didn't really understand how big of how big of a thing that was until after about like a month. But my first full day, I had worked with a man named Corey Busha, and it was an interesting time because I had only been to one real institution before. It was really just a mental institute where I was just kind of being treated for things that I didn't really have, because my parents were just trying anything that they could to help me, and I just was not having any of it. My first day here at A Better Way, so whenever I got here, I came here a little bit in the evening. So whenever they said that you have to go to bed now, and you're gonna have to wake up at 4:45, I was like, I don't know who you're talking to, but I cannot wake up at 4:45 in the morning. That is just ridiculous. And then whenever I woke up and they said, you can't talk until 8 a.m., I was like, oh, heck nah. I can't deal with this no more. Once all that got over with, the devotion and the praise and worship, it was just really weird because I've grown up in the church, and this was unlike any church I have ever been in my life. So it was kind of a very interesting experience for me. And then when we got to work, we work on property for the first month. I've never worked that hard in my life. And it was honestly really rewarding because it showed me a part of myself that I never knew that I had. I always hated talking to people beforehand because I had a massive fear of people looking down on me or people thinking the wrong thing of me saying the wrong thing. But here you have no choice but to talk to each other. So I learned really quick on how to talk to each other, and I got to know a lot of the people, and the people here are amazing. And at the first dinner, I had a lot of people pray over me, which was a very interesting experience. The structure at A Better Way is very strict at times, but it is also very lenient in that it will do everything that they can to help you and not hurt you. Although there are those very few people who do come through A Better Way who are the ones who will try and hurt you to fix you. 99 to 100% of the guys I've met here have worked with me, helped me, tried their best to do everything they can to better me instead of hurt me. As far as like the buttons and stuff, when somebody called me out for that first time, I was like, what are you talking about? One of my buttons is done. I've always done it like that. You know, it's sometimes they don't do that just to do that. They do that to see how well you will follow orders. And if you can do the smallest thing like fold your underwear and button your buttons and be quiet until 8 a.m., you can do pretty much anything. The brotherhood at A Better Way is one of the best friendships I've ever had in my life. A lot of the people like Josh Bateman, who has tremendously impacted me in how I think about things and how I talk about myself, especially with some of the jobs that you have, like the moving truck, the donation truck. Like, I've been on the donation truck for about 15 months whenever I first came through the program, and it was probably one of the best experiences I've ever had. Like some of the brothers I've been on there, like Joshua Bateman, Joshua Permenter, and Malcolm Linder and all them, like they always helped me, you know, come out of my shell. Because like whenever I first came here, I wasn't really talking normally. I was just talking, you know, to make a fool of myself to make other people laugh. But now whenever I talk, I try to be serious sometimes and be able to uplift others than just bring myself down in order to do it. And that's all thanks to the Brotherhood at A Better Way. The Florida trip was awesome in many ways, more than one, because not only did I get to go with a lot of my friends who I had made come through this program, but it was just like an absolutely amazing experience because I had got to do a lot of things that I've never really got to do at a beach, like go out into a sandbar and collect seashells. And getting to know Brother John in the way I did was amazing because I had never been able to speak to him or do any of that, and the devotion on the beach was probably one of the best things I have ever done. It was super cool. The baptism at Florida was such an incredible experience for me because it was the first time that I had done something like that and meant it. Because I've been baptized before in my life, but whenever I got baptized before, I did it just to appease my family. It was just incredible to be baptized in the ocean. It was like crystal clear water, just absolutely gorgeous. It was a little bit chilly, but it was like just an amazing experience. A Better Way has restored my family to me because while they were always there for me, I was never there for them because I would always buck. I would always just refuse to do anything that they asked me to. I would always try and figure out a way to make their life hell without even me realizing that I was making their life hell. It has restored my mind to me because I have been on ADHD medication for as long as I can remember. I cannot tell you one time I have been off of an ADHD medication, and I have been off of them for 18 months now, and I have never been happier and never been more myself than I have ever been in my life. A Better Way has made me an overall better person to people around me because I used to always overreact. I used to always be the one person that nobody wants to hang out around or be around because no matter what I do, I'm always doing it for myself, trying to get something from it. A Better Way has made me a better son to my parents and a better person to others who they can look up to me instead of look down at me and wonder what happened and how it all went wrong. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for never giving up on me, no matter how many times I put you through a living hell and just constantly ignoring what you feel and how just pursuing what I feel. Thank you for never giving up on me.